Hello, I'm Nicholas LaValle, Media Services Coordinator for the town of Merrimack, and you're watching Talk of the Town, a program where we put a focus on the individuals who make Merrimack a special place to live, work, and play. Today we're going to shine a spotlight on a community space that provides information, learning opportunities, and so much more. I'm so excited to be joined by my colleague and friend, Library Director Yvette Couser. Yvette, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Yvette, how long have you been with the town of Merrimack?
I've been working at the library since 2009, and I started as a children's librarian. I was head of children's services, and then in 2012, I was promoted to the director.
What inspired you to have a career in library services?
I don't know that I would say I was inspired. I kind of stumbled into it, as a lot of people do in library services. At the time, my family and I were living in South Bend, Indiana. My husband was attending the University of Notre Dame, and I needed to get a job because we were on a student stipend. So there was a position for a children's librarian or a children's paraprofessional open at a branch that was near us, and I applied. I didn't get it. They actually were hiring teachers, and I found out because they ended up a couple of people they hired didn't work out, and then they had me come in. And so, library services was great for me because it's the kind of work that combines a lot of other things that I already had experience in. There's administration, that's always part of any library job. Being creative, and I'm a creative person. Working with kids, working with the public, it's those kind of things that you need to like to do to be able to work in a library. So that's how I kind of fell into it 20 years ago, and I'm still doing it because I love it.
So you grew up in New Jersey.
I did.
What drew you to New Hampshire?
Again, my husband.
He seems to be the greatest influence in your life.
He's wonderful. I love my husband. He's fantastic. But he is a native New Hampshireite. He grew up in Concord, New Hampshire, and we met in New York. I had gone to school at NYU in New York City, and he had gone to school at Yale for theater. We were both theater people, and he had moved to New York to try and do theater. And so we met in New York. And after we got married and we were having our kids, and he went to Notre Dame to get his PhD, then right after that program was finished, his father got sick with brain cancer, and his parents were still living in Concord, New Hampshire. So we decided, family is very important to us, and we decided to move back to the state of New Hampshire. So that's what brought us back here.
Well, we're lucky to have you and your husband here in New Hampshire.
Oh, sure, yeah, thanks.
Yvette, what's a common misconception about the library?
There are a couple. I mean, how long do you have? I think a lot of people have really fond memories of the library and of the library when they were kids. And the library is very different now. We're a business, essentially. We have a budget of over $1 million that I'm responsible for. We have staff who are incredibly well-trained in a lot of things. They're well-trained in customer service and, managing difficult situations, emergency management, in addition to being trained in their specialty. So if we have someone who's our tech services librarian, which is the librarian that purchases materials that we have in the library and catalogs them, that's a very, very specific skill set that you need to be trained to do. I think it's the same for children's services. A lot of people have this really misconception that anyone can kind of come in off the street and read stories to kids. Not true. There is a skill set with interacting with children and with reading a story to kids in such a way that they get really excited about literature. And that's what we want. We really want kids to become excited about literature and become lifelong readers. So I think that's the misconception is, I don't think people realize how much work goes into library work, and that how much professionalism and training is required for any aspect of the job.
Yvette, what are some library services or resources that are available to residents that they may not know about?
Well, I hope they know about the Library of Things because it was covered by New Hampshire Chronicle and they're replaying it. So we always get a little bump of people coming in having just discovered the Library of Things.
And I've seen the Library of Things.
It's wonderful.
There's a big display.
Yes.
With all the different things that people can check out, because you're more than just books.
We're obviously more than just books.
Right.
We're so much more than just books. So the Library of Things, it was originally part of the collection called Realia. So something that's not a book, and it used to be toys. We used to circulate, puppets and toys for children. But the Library of Things has really grown, and it's kind of, things or objects, equipment that you might not have at home, and so come into the library, check it out, use it once. One of the things that I always check out every year, and I have to put it on hold, is a power washer. So that's great to use any time of the year. You might want to power wash your house or car or sidewalk or something like that, but that's fantastic. You can check it out. I think it's for a week. And then you don't have to, buy a power washer yourself and have it in storage in your garage or something. That's a great collection that we have a lot of very unique things.
I knew about the video games. I knew about that sort of stuff.
Yes.
I thought I knew the library well. I didn't realize you could sign out a power tool. That's
amazing. For some of the things we have some drones that you can check out, and for some items we do ask you sign a disclaimer that we're not going to be liable for any injury that might occur when you're using something like a drone or a power washer. We have an inflatable paddleboard, which I've checked out also, and it's very easy to use. The instructions are included. We have life vests for children and adults also that go with this item. We have camping gear, we have snowshoes. So there's a lot of different kinds of things that you might not have, and you always thought, oh, that'd be so cool to try snowshoes, but you don't want to make a big investment. Well, we have those items. We also have a huge variety of puzzles, board games, just a lot of different kinds of things that we just think would be of great service to our community. We also have a seed library. That's been new for a couple of years. We work with the Moose Mountain Seed Savers, which is an organization in Milton, New Hampshire. We also work with the Merrimack Garden Club. And so we have seeds that are not, there's no chemicals on them, it's not GMO, but they're harvested by New Hampshire gardeners, so we know that these items will grow in our soil in New Hampshire. And you can take a packet of seeds, again, try it, so there's not a lot of investment. It might be your time planting it and trying to care for it. And then you can, just have flowers or vegetables or something and just, try it out. So those
excellent.
Are two collections I know that I hope people know about.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
it's really wonderful.
I think if there is anything residents do know about the library because of the great signage that's outside and we all drive by the library, you're always hosting an event. There's events year round.
Very busy.
Very busy. What are some of your favorite kind of annual events? I know before we started taping, you mentioned summer reading.
Yes. We always have summer reading every year. And we have summer reading for all age groups. So we'll have it for babies. And that's, of course, something where the parent or caregiver will read to the child and hopefully build that bond. Maybe this little one doesn't really understand all the vocabulary words or concepts that are happening in a book, but you're having together time and you're sitting on someone's lap and just learning about how a book works and how stories work. So we have summer reading program for that age group where adults can track how many minutes are we reading to this child. Then we have, for school age kids, there's a separate log for that. We have a different program for teens, and we have a program for adults. So any age level that is out there, we're going to have a different way of tracking. We do all of the tracking on an app called Beanstack, which makes it very easy for our patrons to log the book they're reading or log the number of minutes they're reading, and then gain, just kind of earn prizes or earn raffle tickets to prizes. So we want to have a little bit of an incentive there to keep people reading over the summer. There's a lot of studies, especially with children, when kids are away from school and they aren't reading as regularly, they experience a summer slide. You've probably heard about that before with other kinds of skills, but we're going to focus on the reading skills. And we also want to build enjoyment for kids, and for anyone really, so that they really get excited about reading. And we don't put any limitations on what they need to read. They can read graphic novels, magazines, they can listen to books as well. So it's whatever they want to read, and we just want people to read. And then if you want to, you can record your minutes or titles, and then maybe get some prizes. So that's fun. We like to think summer reading is a great deal of fun.
That's awesome. I know that I tend to associate the library with music, because oftentimes you have fun music events happening. You've had a folk songwriter, singer-songwriter night.
Yes.
I know there's been children's music over there.
Yes.
Is there any could you let me in on any sort of maybe new fun music event that could be happening?
Yeah, I've been talking to a friend of mine actually who lives in Dover, a musician named Matt Lister. And he is a classical guitarist, classically trained. He's from New Hampshire, and his side project is creating chiptune music.
I know what chiptune music is.
I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
So I had gotten on the phone with him. I know because we're friends, he posts a lot on his social media about his excitement about chiptune and projects he's working on. So I thought this would be different and interesting, and the summer reading theme for 2025 is level up at your library. So I thought that would be a nice kind of play in the theme for leveling up and gaming and chiptune music.
So for those that don't know, chiptune music kind of derives from arcade and video game music.
8-bit music is what I have learned. So we're talking about having him come over and do a demonstration on his computers and other
That'd be
equipment.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, he's really excited about it. He's going to talk about the history of chiptune. So about 30 years worth of history that he knows about.
That's great. Well, you're the library director, so I'm going to ask you a few different questions, and it's all based on things that the library does or provides.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 3 different questions.
Okay.
You got to tell me what are you reading?
Okay. So I just finished a book called An Arrow's Flight by Mark Merlis, and it's an older book. It's a novel, adult fiction. And it is a retelling of the Achilles myth and parts of the Achilles myth. And the wonderful thing that this author has done has placed it kind of in modern time. And so it takes place during the beginning of the AIDS pandemic, or the AIDS, maybe pandemic isn't the right word, but that AIDS crisis, when people were not quite sure what was happening, but people were starting to get sick. And I thought it was absolutely fascinating. The characters are very vivid. The sense of place is really wonderful. And yet he still ties in so many elements of the myth and the story of Achilles and the Trojan War and all of these things, and just really has a very creative way of connecting it all. There's an incredible sense of character development. The characters are so beautifully developed. So he really has this kind of internal life going on with the characters, which I really like.
What's the name of the book again?
It's called An Arrow's Flight.
And who's it by?
It's by Mark Merlis.
Okay, great. And what are you watching?
I watch a lot of things. So I love Call the Midwife. Absolutely love that. I love historical dramas. Anything that's British, I love that. Lighter stuff that I love to do, I'm watching a fashion show called Wear the Whatever the F You Want, with Clinton Kelly and Stacey London, and they're kind of, if you know their show from years ago, it was What Not to Wear, and but this is more of a looser fashion thing where they're just inviting people in who are kind of in a fashion rut, and then they have, like a dream of, I want to dress like a diva or I want to dress like a rock star. And they just give them this kind of option of lots of different fabulous clothes, and then find that middle ground for this person of how they want to, change up their style a little bit. So it's fun. I like fashion. So I love the show. It's fantastic. It's
Awesome.
a lot of fun.
What are you listening to?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'll tell you what, though, I have to say, in all honesty, I listen to Merrimack radio.
Oh,
I have it
great.
set 102.9 on my car radio. That's what I play.
WMZK.
I have it on my phone because I have a
Great.
radio app and I can get it. I think your playlist is fantastic and I love it.
Yeah.
So when I'm listening to the radio, that is my station now.
That's great, and
totally,
we're hoping more residents pick up on that.
I really think
WMZK
I'm surprised
102.9.
people aren't listening because
Oh,
it's
they're
a
listening.
great-
We get messages.
Well, okay,
and,
there should be more people.
Yeah, and we're going to really work on promoting the station over the course of the next year
Yeah.
or so. So
well,
absolutely.
I love your playlist. So whoever's building the playlist, yay, because I love it.
Thank you.
I love every part of it. So I listen to your radio station. That's true. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to, there's a podcast called The Rest is History, which there are like two academics who are British and talk about history. And they have like maybe their segments are an hour long, and they'll talk about just lots of different little nuggets of, we're going to focus on Abraham Lincoln now, this one aspect of that. So I like that too, yes.
Yvette, do you have a dream vacation?
I just came back from my dream vacation.
I want to know all about it.
I could spend hours talking about it. My husband and I went to Greece.
Okay.
And we were away for 2 weeks, and I've never been away ever in my life, anywhere, for 2 weeks.
Congrats.
Thank you. It was great. But the first week was a writer's workshop. And so we had the writers and I that went over, had an opportunity to have workshops with David Elliott, who's a wonderful New Hampshire author. And it was all focusing on myth retelling, which is kind of in my wheelhouse right now. And then we spent the second week driving around the Peloponnese and seeing lots of Greek ruins and Byzantine ruins, and eating a lot of really yummy stuff. Really wonderful food.
Well, I'm glad that you got a break from work.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is my birthday.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you celebrate a birthday week?
I used to. I don't anymore. I've cut it down. I mean, I feel like, I'm a mom. I have 4 kids.
So you're always celebrating a birthday. Someone's
No,
birthday.
I'm always assisting someone else. I'm always
Gotcha.
giving a lot to other people, and I think I do that in my job as well, as a manager, where you're always supporting other people. So my birthday is special because it's just me, and I can I don't have to feel that burden of always giving out to someone else.
Well, the town of Merrimack is certainly lucky to have you, and we know that you're special, and I want to thank you for all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Before you go, I want to ask one more question, which is, what energizes you to come to work every day?
It's got to be the staff. We have an incredible, and I've talked about the staff before, and I will always talk about my staff when I have an opportunity. They're absolutely wonderful people. A lot of our staff grew up in Merrimack, and they've come back after college to work in the library, which is really amazing. It just says a lot about the town, and it says a lot about the town services, that they appreciate it and they want to give back to the town. But our staff are wonderful. They are so knowledgeable. And I can go to the library and get a book recommendation for myself or a movie recommendation for myself because our staff know about it. They are fantastic with tech help. I need tech help too, because there's so many new things that are happening, and but they know all about it. They're incredibly plugged into the culture and what's current. They're helpful. It's a great team, and everyone looks out for each other. So I honestly, I can't say enough about the staff. Really, really wonderful. I'm so privileged to be able to work behind the scenes and support them and give them what they need so they can do all of the wonderful things that they bring to the community.
Well, I certainly appreciate the staff at the Merrimack Public Library,
Thank you.
And I definitely appreciate you, Yvette. Thank you so much for stopping by today and having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
And thank you for watching Talk of the Town, a program where we put a focus on the individuals who make Merrimack a special place to live, work, and play. To watch more episodes of Talk of the Town, download the Merrimack TV app from your device's app store, and we'll talk to you later.